Hello, my name is Katrina Sammy and I will be reciting an original poem entitled Fair. Black, as far as the eye could see. Heart pounds against its prison of bones, trying unsuccessfully to break free. Beads of perspiration streaks down exhausted limbs, whilst anxiety tries to claw its way in. Shrieks of despair fills the one silent room, fully aware yet unprepared to face the impending doom. Fear clamps down on every cell of the body, not willing to yield or show a bit of camaraderie. The shuffling of feet as it inched closer sealed her fate, as a sense of dread confirmed that this would be the worst to date. The first one came, and she tried to smother her cries, despite the pain that ensued and the tears that threatened to spill from her eyes. Another one, and another one, until she felt like she couldn't breathe. Only the blood that poured from her being tethered her to reality. But he wasn't done yet, not even close. He gave her a sinister smile, slithered towards her and crouched in a predatory pose. Undetached and uncaring of her beaten, broken body, he attacked unrelentingly. Memories of yesterday assaulted her already tortured mind. Ones of happiness, hope, and of a man who was nothing but kind, who fed her dreams of a future where they were better together, one with a career, children, and love, the rarest of all treasures. She should have seen it coming, but she was blinded by his lies. He came to her an angel. It turned out he was the devil in disguise. She mistook him for a giver, but all he did was take. He fed off of her misery and laughed at all of her mistakes. He isolated her from her friends, her family, and kept her as his hostage. Her biggest regret is that she was his willing captive. His beautiful lies disguised as truth bounded her to him. So once the bullets started to spew, she had no way of cutting loose. Yesterday, that beautiful mouth showered her with promises of love and whispers of success. Today, it batters her with hatred and carries an arsenal of insults. Yesterday, those beautiful hands held her tightly and washed away her fears. Today, they strike her, another reason for her tears. Yesterday, his beautiful soul filled her heart with a special kind of warmth. Today, it's ice cold and practically non-existent. This constant onslaught of physical and psychological abuse was slowly tearing away at her sanity. She felt it her fault, not blaming his fickleness or his fragility. Leaving her to pick up the pieces, he faded away into the corner. Not holding out hope, she smothered her cries, knowing this was only the beginning of his torture. She felt empty, having nothing more to give. Empty, not even bearing the slightest will to live. Nothing. A shell of the body was all that remained. Broken pieces scattered, leaving no hopes of coming together again. Hopes for a better future extinguished. She was left drowning in feelings of loneliness and anguish. She felt unwanted, unworthy, and unloved. The mystery of her existence remained unsolved. She felt unwanted, unworthy, and unloved, only hated, scorned, and judged. Not possessing the strength to carry on with this irrelevant life, she only saw it fitting to end the big fight. 20 years old and she's had enough. The numbers have grown and it's always a bit rough. Her battered body could not handle any more pain. He made sure nothing belonged to her, nothing salvageable to claim. Listening for songs to make sure she was all alone, she crawled towards freedom, no longer afraid of the unknown. 20 years of a life not worth living, she was finally ready to depart, leaving behind torn memories in the form of her broken, shattered heart. Darkness surrounded her in an instant, and she felt a moment of panic. Nothing compared to what she was used to, which seemed a bit tragic. The mist cleared from her eyes, and for once her sight was clear. No longer held down by societal expectations or hounded by fear. Letting the tears fall free, she breathed a sigh of relief. No more pain, no more suffering, no more bouts of insurmountable grief. She felt as though she was living a dream, not believing for once that she was finally free. What felt like days passed by, and she felt nothing but bliss, all of which evaporated too soon, and she was thrown into an abyss. Looking around, she found herself lost in a crowd of people mourning a girl they all once knew, whose body lay lifeless, cold and slightly blue, eyes closed as though in a restless slumber, no one none the wiser of the struggles that once plagued her. Weaving her way through the throes of humans, she reached the casket, barely unable to control her emotions. A shiver went through her and she hung her head slowly. And that's when the memories hit her unabashedly. Sleepless nights and worries over exams, fears of failure, and the reward of an onslaught of hands. The lover she never expected to betray her turned out to be her worst enemy, bombarded with deadlines, expectations, and a loss of identity. A pressure at the back of her skull that followed her wherever she went, the nagging and crying until the last of her energy was spent. Coming back to the present, she looked upon the girl whose life was taken from her unfairly and whose murderer continued to run the world. The girl who would never garner justice and whose soul would continue to roam, whilst these mourners would eventually forget her, allowing her to wither away, heartbroken and alone. Thank you.